Hello, and welcome to episode 22 of By Night, and you join me in Acton Green in Chiswick, not Acton. I'm waiting for the first bus of this episode, which will be the 94. So, the plan for tonight is to get the 94. We're going to get that, but only to Shepherd's Bush, because from Shepherd's Bush we can get the 148 across the rest of the way to Marble Arch, which knocks out two routes in one. Then from Marble Arch we're going to get the 189 up to Brent Cross West, and the N32 down into Victoria, before we finish off on a full run of the 390 across to Archway. So starting off on the 94. Now the 94 is a bit of a funny one. It's a very, very good, very direct service from Acton Green into London as far as Piccadilly Circus, which feels a very odd place to terminate a bus. I looked it up, and sometime in the early 2000s, I think sometime between 2001 and 2004, it got cut back from Trafalgar Square. And I'm thinking, why? Like, that feels like the perfect bus route for this area. But the powers that be thought otherwise. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that there isn't an N94 that does the old run out to Trafalgar. But, anywho, on to the 94. First bus of By Night episode 22. So, in fact, I can see it over there. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. Maybe? Yeah, there it is. You can just sort of see it there. That's First Bus London's 38313. So, more about the 94 when we get on board.
To Piccadilly Circus.
And you now join me on First Bus London's 38313 on the 94, which runs from Acton Green to Piccadilly Circus via Shepherd's Bush, Marble Arch and Oxford Circus. Now, as I said in the intro, the 93 actually used to run all the way into Trafalgar Square, and I say all the way like it's a very big extension. But the full original route of the 94, if you were to walk the bit that they cut between Piccadilly Circus and Trafalgar Square, takes like 5 or 10 minutes. So it's not diabolical, but it just feels a bit weird that they would have cut the route by that little, in a way, from a place that's so useful, particularly overnight. But yeah, it uses these lovely BYD D8UR Enviro 400 EVs, which, they're lovely buses. So,
94. To Piccadilly Circus.
So I have decided, actually, that we're going to do a full run on this tonight, all the way to Piccadilly Circus. And then I'm going to hop onto the 453, go down to Lambeth North, and pick up the 148 there, and do the full run through central London on the 148, get off at Marble Arch, get on the 189. Just to do more with my time, I guess. Because I don't want a situation like we had a few episodes ago, where I got off what would be the last bus of the episode at like 4 in the morning. Because that just makes it hard to get home, really. Because as useful as the night network is, it's very radial. It goes in and out of central London a lot more than it goes around London. But anyhow, we're now at Acton Green, so let's get to the B-roll, shall we?
94. To Piccadilly Circus. Station. Notting Hill Gate Station, Hillgate Street. Lancaster Gate Station.
And I've now made it to 2 Charles II Street. Just behind me there is the 94, 313, I think, that we just had on the 94. And I'm walking down, I think the road that I'm walking to is called Haymarket. And yeah, just walking down to pick up the 453, which we're going to take down to Lower Marsh so that we can get a nice run on the 148 through all of central London. So, see, I've been here so many times that I've completely not noticed that that's the Theatre Royal. The things that you don't notice about London when you live here. Truly. I see a 453. Ah. Right. Okay. And I have now made it to Lower Marsh, right underneath Waterloo Station. Just south of the Thames. Where I got, I did make that 453 that I saw at the end of the last clip, and that 453 was worked by LT 860, and I'm now finding a way of crossing the road. This is not a crossing, but it'll do, and there's no one coming, so that's good. So yes, I'm going to find the Lower Marsh stop for the other way and get on the 148, which will be the second bus of episode 22 of By Night. And you now join me at Marble Arch, right in front of Marble Arch itself. So, we've just gotten off the 148, nice quick run from Waterloo up into central London. We're on the very western end of Oxford Street. And I'm about to get on the 189. Well, I'm not about to get on one, because it's not for half an hour. Because it was one of those where there was like barely any time between the buses, and I know changing buses between here is a nightmare. So yeah, I'm crossing the road, so I can't look at the camera, because that would be bad. Although I am doing it on the light. Right. So yeah, one of the entrances to Marble Arch Station is over there. And I'm just crossing over to where my bus will go from. Of course, my next bus, as I've said before, is the 189. So, yeah, 189. We're on to Marble Arch up to Brent Cross. It is Brent Cross's second of the two night buses that go to Brent Cross. The first one we covered right at episode 1. It was in fact the first route we covered in the series. First route we covered in the series, the N266, which runs down to Hammersmith. The 189 is its overnight connection into central London. But, yeah, we're going to get on the 189, and we're going to get, not all the way to Brent Cross, we're going to go to Brent Cross West, which is just to the south of it. Join me on Metroline London's LT 560 on the 189, which runs from Marble Arch to Brent Cross Shopping Centre. Let me check where it goes through. So, the 189 runs from Marble Arch to Brent Cross Shopping Centre via Baker Street, Kilburn, Cricklewood and Brent Cross West Station. We're on it tonight as far as Brent Cross West Station, and yeah, there's a diversion on because, you know, it's apparently the latter end of the by night series where every bus is on diversion. So yeah, we're going around Portman Square rather than sort of past it, which is weird, but you know, that's fine. So yeah, the 189. It looks to be a very good sort of direct link, and it was rerouted via Brent Cross West when that station opened last year, I think. So, you know, useful route, and now that it goes through the new development at Brent Cross Town, which honestly looks really, really nice, even more useful, because it goes places that no other buses go. And, again, similar vein to how the 13 doesn't need to go beyond North Finchley at night, so it doesn't have a night bus. This doesn't need to go beyond Brent Cross at night, because really the next major place beyond Brent Cross is Edgware, which already has 3 night buses, 2 of which we did in episode 1, and the last one we're doing right after this. So yeah, Brent Cross. We went there in episode 1. In fact, it was the first route we did in episode 1, the N266, which, as of recording this, is my local night bus. However, as of this going up, I have by now moved to Medway in Kent, where I don't have a night bus to speak of at all. In fact, my nearest bus route finishes at 7 PM. So, yeah. Safe to say by the time you're watching this, I am missing London a lot. And you now join me outside of the beautiful new Brent Cross West station. Which, by the sounds of things, there is a train arriving. Ah yes, it's the 0258 to Bedford, running 4 minutes late, just arriving. Because yes, Thameslink provide a 24-hour service between, well, tonight it's from Three Bridges to Bedford. So I'm on an escalator on a by-night. I think this is the first time I've ridden an escalator on a by-night episode. That's a random little thing there, random little milestone. But we're going to cross over the railway line to get to the Edgware Road, where we will catch our next bus, which will be the N32. But this station is absolutely lovely. I think it's still London's newest station. And the escalator's already squeaking, which is delightful. But yeah, this station is just lovely. Like, look at that. I love all the like wood detailing throughout the station. It's so much better than a lot of new stations have been. And yeah, I went to the station like very shortly after it opened, and it still has that new station look to it. Just coming through like past the concourse area now. There we are, there's Gate Line. And there's trains on the board at 3 in the morning. This is what we like to see. I wouldn't mind living around here. I wouldn't mind living on the Thameslink route generally because of that 24-hour service, and it does go all the way to Bedford. Even during the week. I'm filming this on Sunday night, actually. So, yeah. It's a very, very impressive service. There's only an up escalator on this side. Okay, that's not great. But yeah, I've now crossed over. I'm on the other side. There's the up escalator. There is no down, which is very unfortunate. But anywho, it's now time to get on the N32 down to Victoria. And you now join me on Metroline London's LT99 on the N32, which I believe to be London's most direct bus route, running from Edgware to Victoria, straight down the Edgware Road all the way to Marble Arch, then down Park Lane to Hyde Park Corner, and then into Victoria, the standard way that basically every bus goes between Hyde Park Corner and Victoria. Now, we have that in. The regular 32 is therefore different to the daytime, to the N32. The regular 32 terminates at, where does it terminate? I've forgotten. Kilburn Park Station, there we are. But it starts in Edgware, so this is one of those sort of rarer cases where the night bus is actually extended towards central London rather than being extended into the suburbs. The N113 is also like this. And I suppose you could argue that the N266 is also like this, keeping in theme with this area. But we're being flung down the Edgware Road. So let's get back to the B-roll. We're just about to go past the Cricklewood bus garage. And once again this series you join me at London Victoria. The National Rail station is just behind me. One of the entrances to the tube station is over there, and over there is a 36. In the bus station right now is the N32 I just got off of. The red LT is an N38, and then the yellowy green, well, I don't know what colour that is, LT is a 390, but it's not the one I'll be getting. We arrived here somewhat early, and as the 390 is the last bus of the episode, I'm more than happy to wait for the one that I planned to get. So yeah, the run on 32 was really, really good. Naturally, it was a straight shot down the Edgware Road to Edgware Road, or to Marble Arch, then down to Park Lane, and then into Victoria the standard way. So very direct, very smooth. We left the stop I got on at about a minute late, I think, and then we got into Victoria like 3 minutes early. So it was a good quick run. Highly recommended the N32. I thought the N32 would be a snooze fest that would absolutely drag, because it's, you know, just a straight line. But no, it's a decent little run actually. It's a straight line, but it's not bad. So yeah. Anywho, the next route is definitely not going to be a straight line. The 390 is kind of like an inner London local route. Because it's inner London, it does use the big LTs. So, yes. Also, I still haven't found a way to hold this phone so that I know it's always pointing at my face fully. That's just, you know, something I never got around to learning. And now we're not far from the end. Again, this series will either have 26 or 27 episodes, something like that. And this is episode 22. I really need to get better at vlogging, seeing as, you know, I've had a vlogging series for 5 months and a bit. Yeah. Anyway, on to the 390. So, that branded LT behind me is LT801, and it is currently 4:07, and that was meant to be the 0355 departure to Archway. Yeah, the driver like asked where I was going, and you know, like, to help me, because that bus is gone mechanical. It does not want to exist anymore as a bus. So yeah, that bus is probably stuck here, which not good. But you know, that's kind of typical for the Right New Route Master. They're not the most competent of buses. Certainly better than some buses, but that was not a good era for Right Bus, especially their integrals. So yeah, I'm getting the 390, but not LT801. And you now join me from Metroline London's LT44 on the 390, which runs from Victoria to Archway via Hyde Park Corner, Marble Arch, Tottenham Court Road, London Euston, and Tufnell Park. So, the 390, it always stood out as a bit of a weird route to me, and I never understood why it had that number. Maybe it's a more recent addition to the network, because that happens a lot when a new route when new routes have been added since about the 1990s. Regardless where they are in the network, they've always had quite high numbers. The one that sticks out to me is the 45, or the two that stick out to me even, are the 453 and 476. But anywho, the 390, so it's, Victoria to Archway, it's quite a short route, but it does run all the way through the West End, then up to Euston and King's Cross, so it's, it's got quite a run time to it during the day, but of course at night, it's a little bit more pacey, a little bit better. In theory, we'll see how that goes. Alright, sit rep. So, yeah, we're at Euston. In front is... that LT right at the front there is LT801, the one that broke down at Victoria. It's broken down again at Euston. Because for some reason the driver was probably told, to continue in service rather than bringing it back to the garage after he got it moving. It's broken down again here at Euston, and currently in the queue behind it, trying to get out of Euston bus station, is an N20 to Barnet. That is the Emirates branded LT there. An N205 to Leighton, right in front of us. An N5 up to Edgware. There was behind this bus an N91 to Cockfosters. And then, of course, there's this 390 going up to Archway. So, yeah, I don't know why LT801 continued in service after it broke down at Victoria. That's not what I would have done if I was the controller in that situation. But yeah, that's where we are right now. And you now join me in Archway at Navigator Square, right in the middle of the town thing, suburb area, whatever. It's Archway, I'm in the middle of it. Behind me there is the Archway Tavern, which is an old coaching inn. Off of the 390. So the run up on the 390, I saw LT801 breakdown twice, so I think I have a name for this episode. And just after I got off the 390, the N20 that was stuck in the jam at Euston pulled up, and it was curtailed from Barnet Hospital to Archway, which is huge. Like, that's one of the biggest curtailments I've ever seen. And yeah, I want to know how long 801 was sitting there, broken down, because, like, that's a lot. But anywho, I'm at Archway now. I don't know what I'm going to do. But first, recap. So we started where did we start? We started in Acton Green. And we got the 94 all the way to its endpoint at Piccadilly Circus. Then I filmed my bit, then realised that there was a 453 literally pulling into its stop as I was crossing the road. So ran to get that, made it, didn't die, which is always nice. Picked up the 148 at Lower Marsh, which is underneath Waterloo Station. Then got the oh my god, where did we go? Yeah, we got the 148 and we got that to Marble Arch. Then onto the 189 up to Brent Cross West Station, which I believe to be London's newest railway station. And then onto the N32 for a very quick run down to Victoria, where I witnessed LT801 break down for the first time. Then got on the 390 up here to Archway. Along the way, we got to, along the way at Euston, we witnessed LT801 breakdown the second time. So yeah, all in all, pretty fun night. All the lights are just switched off because sunrise is happening. It is now 5:25. So yeah, I think all that's left to be said is I will see you on Monday from City Bus Manager on the South Coast. On Thursday from City Bus Manager once again up in West Scotland. And next week from By Night.